Okay, we back. We back. Let's turn up. Episode 3, and we're just gonna keep coming with it. All right, it's time. It's time for something new, something crazy. Just can't keep crashing like this. You gotta understand what's going on. Can't just keep repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again. What is really happening? Now, being honest, what brought about this episode specifically was trying to understand what is faith. Because it's just so weird to me. Like, I can't wrap my head around, how does faith work? Then I was thinking of it because I was talking to my friend actually, and I was talking to him about willpower. And I was reading it out loud, the definition, how you can control your thoughts and your emotions towards a goal. I'm like, that's perfect. Because the onslaught that I be happening in my mind, my thoughts be sporadic. I act like I'm an addict. I'm singing a song right now. But my thoughts be going crazy and my emotions be conflicting me. So in order to control it, yeah, I want that. That willpower, yeah, we have that. Where is it then? And he was telling me that you have to think of the moments you did use your willpower. Because it has happened. I've had certain moments in my life through video games, through sports, and through school, and through just different activities in life where I did use my willpower to achieve a goal. And he's like, just think of that moment and try to find the method to replicate it over and over and over again. And I think the method has to do with faith. So I've always been, quote unquote, been told by others a lazy person. But at the same time, I've always accomplished the goals I've set out to achieve. However I did it. One specifically is me having a 50 average in grade 11, going into grade 12. Utmost confidence. Utmost confidence I'm going to complete grade 12 and get an 80 average. Heard a lot of people say it's impossible. Heard a lot of people tell me it's not going to happen. Heard a lot of people tell me I'm too lazy to do that. But in a weird way, in a strange way, that only increased my confidence. Swear to you. That didn't make me go lower, bring me down. That only increased me. That only made me accelerate more, made me go even faster. I'm like, what's happening? Now, me looking back, I knew what was happening during the moment, but me looking back, I'm like, what is that? When people tell me I can't be this good at a game, people call me trash, and that makes me just play even harder, get even better, focus even more. It has something to do with faith. So I look at it like this. So people are insecure. Surprise, surprise. And that insecurity, whether people like to hide it or not, it shows when someone else moves in the way they wish to move. Through their evil eye, through their envy, they'll look at you and the insecurity will just outpour. It's like a wave. How God talks about when someone's double-minded. It's because they're wavering. It's a wave. They're facing all these waves that they're like, I'm not even going to deal with this. But then when you're doing something, when you're moving in a certain way, when they approach you and they start talking to you and start talking sick to you and all that, their waves are coming onto you. But over time, I learned to just flow with it. Like, I don't let that bring me down, especially when I have a goal. It only works when I have a goal. If I'm not certain, specific on what my goal is, then the waves do drown me for sure. But when I have a goal, it only just propels me forward. And the way waves are created, and the way you go fast on waves, like when you're surfing, it's the gravity. That's what increases speed. It's gravity. So when they're talking down on you, when they're talking trash to you, it's only creating gravity. And if you know how to surf, you know how to go faster. It's only going to make you go faster. So the way I look at it is like this now. I look at it like a pool. And every single little domain, school, video games, sports, it's a pool. And there's a deep end. So for me in basketball, the deep end was rep. I didn't care whether you thought I was a good basketball player or a bad basketball player. If I make a rep team, I've made it to the deep end. Done. I could care less what happens after that. I'm not trying to be the best swimmer in the deep end. I just want to make it to the deep end. School, it was making it to university. Could care less to get a 99 average. Could care less if it was an 80 average on the dot. I wanted honor roll. I wanted to make it to university. That's the deep end. Video games, it was whatever it was. Tier 1 in Fortnite, whatever it was, being the best 2K player in my group, not in the world, just in my group. That's the deep end. My goal was always to make it to the deep end. And there was one time, which was 2K, when I went even further. It wasn't just about being one of the best players in my group. It was about being the best convincingly, like without any doubt. I wanted to be the greatest player, which crossed over into the section I'm about to get into, which is the ocean. There's a difference between the pool and the ocean. We all noticed it. You might be scared of the deep end when you go inside the pool, whatever the case, like, oh, you know, whatever the case is. But then when you see other people swimming in the deep end, you get, you know what, I could do this. And you go in, it's a little scary, you're holding on to the edge, and then you start swimming, and then you get over it eventually. In the ocean now, you are not going out there. As soon as it gets too wavy, as soon as it gets a little bit too wavy, you're gone, because you know you could die. Like literally, they say if you get dragged by a wave out there, you could die. You're not having that. So the way God works is he gives you wisdom, right? Wisdom allows you to see your true potential, where you could take this life, how far you could go. But then you're seeing the waves and you're like, yo, this is not like the pool. This is not like school. This is not like video games. This is not none of that. This is serious. Like, this is life or death. This is insane. Like the thresholds, the boundaries he's telling you to cross, never seen before. And you're thinking to swim. That's why your foolish self is thinking, oh, I could just do the same thing I did in all those other categories. With your pride, with your ego, I'll just swim. It's like, no. This is where faith comes in, and faith is like a surfboard. While you're scared of the waves, while you're scared of the reaction of others, because not only do you have to deal with the reaction of others through your actions, where people are going to have to call you out and talk to you and put you down. All right, cool. You could sort of deal with that. But then you have to deal with these huge waves that you've never seen before in your life. And that is whether you have to deal with your parents thinking you're evil, or someone in your family dying, or someone's health, or just violence in the world, like someone pulling a knife on you, or whatever it is. There's a lot of what ifs in the world. What if this doesn't work out? What if I move out and I run out of money? All these different things. It's like, nah, these waves are too much. Those are huge waves. Maybe you're able to deal with one big wave, but then people come and they talk down on you because they see you make one wave that they never thought they could make, and then they're talking down on you. Oh, shoots. So you deal with them, and then another huge wave comes. You don't know how to deal with everything. That is where faith comes in. You're not using the right tools. There are people who see those huge waves and run towards them. There are people who literally venture out there and chase after the huge waves. Ride it like it's nothing. Because they have a surfboard. Because they know what they're doing. And that's what faith is like. When people start to attempt to make you waver, that's when you got to ride it like a surfboard. When you have all these doubts, fears, that's waves. Yeah, okay, let's go. Faith over fear, that line over fear, that's your surfboard right there. That's what you're surfing on. Yeah, like, let's go, let's do this. The bigger the waves, the bigger the test, the bigger the reward. Let God show you what He's capable of. Don't waver yourself, because if you waver, you're going to fall off the board. It's all about the board. You got to stay focused. You got to stay concentrated. You can't worry about falling, failing, fear. You got to surf. So another thing God says is that we walk in sin, and that's why He hides His face from us. That's why He can't help us. But when you start to walk in truth, yeah, sure, God's there, but at the same time, He says you're a prey to the world. You're not no big dog. You're not no predator. Who do you think you are? This is not your turf. You're a visitor. You're prey to all the people you just left behind. The whole world doesn't move the way you wish to move. And a lot of people who move in darkness, they're searching. When you move in light, you don't need to search for anything. You see everything how it is. You don't want nothing, you don't search for nothing. But when you move in darkness, you're looking, you're searching. So they're seeing you, evil eye, envy. Everyone longs for others' goods, longs for others' people, their woman, longs for others' cars. Everyone's just searching and longing and desiring others' things. So when people see you moving forward, they desire that faith, that belief, that you can conquer those waves. But they're not going to say, good job. They're going to say, what are you doing? Are you a fool? It's disguised as good job, but they're not going to do that. You have to deal with that, plus your own fears and anxiety. Plus the devil's really going to come for you now. A lot of times you're keeping yourself down, but when you start actually moving how you're supposed to, then life's going to start reacting how it's supposed to. And you're going to see a lot of different things that fate or chance might have for you that they never had before. But now they're here because you're moving how you're supposed to. Once you start actually doing your story mode, it's different than running around the open world. Like the cutscenes and the resistance, real enemies start to show up. And you're not just fighting henchmen all day. Real enemies start to show up. Real boss battles. This isn't like anything you fought before. And that's why He says helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, garment of vengeance, cloak of zeal, sword of the Spirit, girdle of truth, shield of faith. This is the diamond armor. That's the diamond sword, the diamond pickaxe, the diamond helmet, the diamond chest. Like that's what he's saying. Like we're not playing survival no more. You were just trying to survive. Now you're actually living. You're actually doing the actual game. You're in the underworld now. Like you can't use the iron sword and your little iron chest plate and your gold pants and think you're about to do something in the underworld. You're not going to do nothing. You need all diamond. This is not a joke anymore. It's not a joke. The waves will come. That you expect the waves. I expect the waves to be even bigger than I've ever experienced in my life. That's why you gotta start surfing. Let them come. Every single time someone doubts you, every single time someone talks trash to you, every single time you're met with a fear of anyone in your life, you're met with an unexpected circumstance, a trying mountain, it's time to test the faith. Let's see how this faith really works. How strong is your faith? Because no matter what, this is your path. You chose it. Move forward. The only way is forward. It's the only way. There's only one way. There's only one way.